Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really cutting through the noise around compliance, specifically for managed service providers, MSPs in the UK and the EU.
It's a complex area.
It really is. And for MSPs, I think the real headache isn't just knowing all the regulations.
No, that's just the start.
Right. It's proving consistent compliance day in, day out across all sorts of different client setups. And this isn't just about, avoiding fines anymore, is it? It's really about turning what feels like an obligation into, well, a strategic asset.
Absolutely.
We've gone through a whole stack of sources detailing these critical compliance frameworks. And our mission for this deep dive is basically to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge for you.
Yeah.
How can MSPs actually demonstrate compliance to their clients? And maybe more fundamentally, why is this now a core business function? Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, what's fascinating here is just how much compliance has genuinely shifted.
Yeah.
How so it's moved, from being maybe a tick box exercise 5 or 10 years ago.
Right, something you just had to get done.
Exactly. To something absolutely foundational for any MSP today. It's actually become a core driver of client trust.
I can see that.
And frankly, a significant competitive advantage in the market. Ignoring it, well, that's just not a sustainable business strategy anymore.
That's a crucial shift, and I've seen that echoed in the market too. And when we talk about UK and EU compliance, specifically for MSPs, our sources really seem to point towards 3 key frameworks that, well, stand out.
The big 3.
Yeah. Now, they might have different sort of enforcement models and details.
They do.
But there's one big thing they all seem to share. This demand for evidence-based security operations.
That's the key phrase, evidence-based.
So it means proving your security controls aren't just, installed.
Right, not just sitting there.
But they're actively working, they're being monitored,
Yeah.
and you've got the logs and documented processes to back it all up. Verifiable proof.
Precisely.
And this is where MSPs, if they have the right kind of structured reporting, can really shine for their clients. Okay, so let's kick things off with the big one, GDPR. We all know the name, but for MSPs, what's a common, maybe misconception or a key challenge when they try to apply it?
Well, for MSPs, GDPR isn't just about protecting their own client data lists,
Okay.
It's about being able to demonstrate protection for the data their clients entrust them with, often across lots of different environments. And yes, the basics apply if you're processing personal data of EU citizens. Doesn't matter where your MSP is based, it applies.
Right.
Its core demands, they include having robust data protection policies in place, and of course that well-known 72-hour breach notification window.
Which sounds tight.
It is tight, but I think a key challenge many MSPs maybe underestimate is the operational side of things like data subject access requests, DRSers.
When someone asks for their data.
Exactly. And having robust logging isn't just critical for spotting breaches. It's also vital for efficiently finding and reporting on that data when requested. You need to prove what data you hold and how it's protected.
So the MSP's role is quite hands-on there.
Very much so. MSPs often become critical partners in helping clients meet these demands. They do this by implementing the necessary security controls, crucially, maintaining those detailed activity logs, and having systems to rapidly detect potential breaches.
That documentation and logging seems key across the board.
It underpins everything.
Okay, so that brings us quite nicely, I think, to Cyber Essentials Plus. Because, while GDPR is all about protecting the data itself, the actual information.
Yeah, the personal data.
Exactly. How do MSPs help ensure the basic systems holding that data are actually secure? That sounds like where Cyber Essentials Plus fits in. What's its main purpose, and who's really looking for this certification?
Right. So Cyber Essentials Plus, or CE Plus ARAM, is a UK government-backed certification. It's very much focused on sort of foundational cybersecurity hygiene.
The basics done right.
Exactly. It mandates several key controls, things like strong boundary firewalls, stringent access control measures, making sure you've got comprehensive malware protection.
Standard stuff, but essential.
And rigorous patch management. And that last one, patch management, it isn't just about, hitting update on Windows now and then. No, it's about having scheduled, auditable patching across all your network devices. That means firewalls, servers, end user machines, everything. And you need an audit trail to prove it's being done systematically.
Right. Proof again. So who needs this CE plus WOM?
Well, it's pretty much non-negotiable if you want to be a UK government supplier.
Okay, mandatory there.
Mandatory there. But we're seeing increasingly private sector clients are demanding it too. They see it as a way to ensure their suppliers meet at least a minimum security standard.
A baseline of trust.
Precisely. And MSPs can directly leverage tools, perhaps like enhanced.io, which we're discussing implicitly, to provide concrete evidence of these security controls, presenting findings in an automated, auditor-friendly way.
What does that look like?
It means reports that pull together logs, results from vulnerability scans, access reviews, all into formats that are easy to digest. It can save literally days of manual work when an external auditor comes knocking.
Right. I can absolutely see that being a massive time saver and a value add for the client.
Huge.
Okay, and finally, let's touch on NIS2. That's the Network and Information Systems Directive 2. Now, it's an EU directive, so what's its scope and how relevant is its kind of spirit here in the UK post-Brexit?
Yeah, good question. NIS2 is the EU's updated directive, and it's really all about boosting the overall cyber resilience across what they call essential and important entities, basically critical infrastructure and key digital service providers.
Okay, so a broader reach.
Definitely. Its scope has expanded significantly compared to the original NIS directive. It includes more industries, it introduces potentially much higher fines and more regulatory oversight, and it really pushes for continuous monitoring and reporting of cybersecurity incidents and risks, not just after the fact, but proactively.
Okay, but the UK connection, we're not in the EU.
Correct. The UK isn't legally bound by NIS2 itself. However, its spirit and many of the best practices it promotes, they are being widely adopted here, especially within critical sectors. Think energy, transport, healthcare, digital infrastructure.
So even if it's not law, it's becoming expected practice.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for organizations operating internationally or those wanting to show a higher level of maturity. What this means in practice is that MSPs in the UK can and probably should offer NIS2 aligned reporting for their clients.
Why would they do that?
Because it allows them to showcase proactive threat mitigation. It demonstrates a genuinely continuous approach to risk assessment, not just point-in-time checks. For their clients, this isn't just about ticking a box that might not legally apply yet.
Right.
It's about demonstrating a higher level of cyber maturity, which builds confidence.
I see. So, okay, we've got GDPR focusing on the data protection aspect, Cyber Essentials Plus covering that foundational system security.
Yeah, the basics.
And NIS2 driving this broader, more continuous cyber resilience, even if indirectly in the UK for now.
Exactly.
It seems pretty clear these frameworks, while distinct, are definitely interconnected. And the common thread is this crucial need for demonstrable security.
That's it.
So the biggest headache for MSPs, as we said at the start, isn't just knowing these rules, but proving they're compliant, especially when managing lots of different clients with different needs. How does a solution, like the kind of reporting platform we've alluded to, actually help MSPs tie all these pieces together? How do they turn all that operational data into something valuable for the client?
Right, and that's the real challenge, isn't it? Because, look, a platform itself might not offer a managed compliance service. It's not doing the compliance for you.
Okay.
But what it does is strongly support MSPs in demonstrating their compliance. Think of it as providing the granular evidence, the reporting engine that transforms all that security work you're hopefully already doing.
Yeah, the day-to-day stuff.
Into a clear, auditable trail that makes sense to clients and auditors.
Can you give some specific examples?
Sure. So for GDPR, it could provide, say, monthly reports that align with security monitoring requirements, clear documentation that streamlines preparing for an audit, or even helps respond faster and more accurately to those DSARs we mentioned.
Okay, makes sense.
For Cyber Essentials Plus, it helps generate the precise evidence needed for those audits. Often, it can automate collecting data on patch statuses, access controls, firewall configurations, the stuff auditors need to see.
Less manual digging for proof.
Exactly. And for NIS2, or at least NIS2 alignment, it could deliver risk dashboards mapped directly to those priorities, showing continuous monitoring, giving clients maybe a real-time or near real-time view of their cyber posture against those higher standards.
That capability sounds, well, transformative.
It really can be, because it allows MSPs to take their raw operational data, all the security activities they're performing day in, day out, and turn it into actual client-facing compliance value.
Right, not just technical logs, but business value.
Precisely. It simplifies what would otherwise be a hugely complex and time-consuming process, both for the MSP and for their clients. And ultimately, that helps the MSP win new business and keep the clients they have.
So what does this all mean then for MSPs in the broader market picture? What's the big takeaway here?
Well, I think the bottom line is this. Compliance is no longer just some regulatory burden for MSPs. It's not just a cost center.
Okay.
It has genuinely become a core business function. It's a significant differentiator when they're bidding for new clients.
The way to stand out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a direct contributor to building and maintaining that deep client trust we talked about.
Right.
And, this raises an important question maybe for you, the listener, to think about. How might this fundamental shift, seeing compliance move from just an obligation to a powerful differentiator, how might that change the whole landscape of digital services?
Interesting question.
And what does it really mean for the future of trust between businesses and their service providers, their MSPs? Because by embedding robust, demonstrable compliance reporting right into their service offering, MSPs aren't just sort of meeting industry standards anymore. They're actively setting them. They're raising the bar.